Welcome, welcome, and thank you for joining me today. I am Dina, and this is Discussions with Dina. There has been a lot of information in the news as of late regarding an American citizen by the name of John Allen Chow. This is a Christian missionary who was killed in an attempt to convert what is considered to be one of the world's last remaining isolated tribes to Christianity. Missionary. And I'm just wondering what you think about when you hear that word. It has become such a bad word today, and it is synonymous with evil and wicked things that have been done under that name. However, John Allen Chow is believed to have been killed by members of the Sentinelese tribe on a remote island in the Bay of Bengal. When I heard this report on the national news, my first thoughts was, why was he even there to begin with? Why was it necessary for him to go to this island and harass these people? And I immediately felt it was more to the story, and as always, it turned out to be lots more. But not surprising to hear what his true intentions were. Now, the tribe is said to represent some of the last people on earth whose way of life remains entirely undisturbed. Undisturbed by so-called modern civilization. The Sentinelese tribe lives in complete isolation in what's called Andaman. The tribe and their home are protected by Indian law to maintain their way of life from the modern world. Some reports state that just more than a dozen live on this island, and I've read other reports that said there may be 50 to 100 members of this tribe. Regardless, they should have been left alone, allowed to live in peace. The island is protected. It's a protected area, and people are not allowed to go within 5 nautical miles of it. And this man was well aware of this, but he felt it was his duty to travel to this island and convert its inhabitants to Christianity. As I was getting information on this story, I read a couple of articles that said that he kept a journal of or a diary of what he was trying to accomplish in dealing with this tribe of people. And there were some excerpts from his journal that he kept. And in one of these he wrote about returning to the island to continue his attempts at conversion, even after a tribesman shot at him with a bow and arrow, piercing a Bible he carried. This was not the first time now. This was just recent. He has attempted getting onto this island on several different occasions. But this is from one of the fishermen, as was accounted to the police of that area. His mother is said to have shared with the Washington Post his diary pages. And in those pages, he wrote, and this is his exact words. It's a quote from him. He said, I hollered when he got upon the island. This is what he said. My name is John. I love you and Jesus loves you. After which, a young member of the tribe shot at him. And this was according to his own accounts. And like I said, one of the arrows actually pierced the Bible that he carried. And the fishermen would not take him directly to this island. They took him about 500 to 700 meters from the island, and Chow used a canoe to reach the shore of the island. CNN report stated that they were informed by the Director General of Police that Chow had made several trips to this island, and he returned to the fishing boat at least twice. The fishermen that took him there said he came back one day with arrow injuries. Then on the following day, which would have been the 16th, they said tribes people broke his canoe. And then the next day, after they broke his canoe, he came back to the boat swimming, they said. Then on the 17th, he did not come back. And the fishermen said that they saw the tribespeople dragging his body across the beach before burying it in the sand. Now, I have compassion for others, yet I also believe in not forcing your thinking upon others. It was amazing to me that he felt the need to go to this particular island and convince these people that Jesus is their salvation. You know, in the past, our oppressors have, and currently they still do, they've used these types of missionary people to bring gifts and offerings to other people that they're trying to convince that they're on a wrong track and how much they need this Jesus. I wouldn't have a problem with it if I felt that they were giving them the accurate account of Christianity, but it's not. It's usually a whitewashed version of Christianity that we really don't need. And they use missionary work as a way to cover their wickedness and their wicked intent. And they're oftentimes too arrogant to understand or accept that their way of life is not meant, nor was it designed for all of the people who inhabit this earth. To be perfectly honest, it has been tampered with and used to justify some of the most wicked and evil exploitations of people, my people in particular. Although I feel sympathy for his family's loss, this guy really had no business bothering those people. Christians and others who choose to practice religion must understand that the greatest way to exemplify your religious beliefs and your customs is not to force your beliefs or way of life on others, but to put it into action in your life each and every day by showing through your works and behavior what your religion teaches. In other words, you should exemplify what it is that you say you believe. Actions, not words. Chow knew that the trip was illegal, and he even detailed it in the journal how the fishermen who assisted him with traveling to the island transported him to this isolated island at night and were able to avoid the coastal patrol. 7 locals were arrested as a result of his death, even though he took it upon himself to convince and pay them to take him to that island. He was well aware of the rules and regulations that India had for them, for that island, to protect these people's way of life. He wrote in the diary that he kept, and I quote, God himself was hiding us from the Coast Guard and many patrols. So he was well aware. I think he had convinced himself that he knew what was best for those people, but he didn't know what was best for himself. He'd already made up in his mind. He had to save these black people from themselves by bringing them Christianity. I find this to be factual because of a diary entry that he wrote. And it stated, and these are his words, Lord, Is this island Satan's last stronghold where none have heard or even had the chance to hear your name? I personally found this just a little bit arrogant to the highest degree, wrapped in a little bit of white supremacy. His entire approach lets me know that they intend and persist on carrying out this same old absurdity that what they offer is better for us or anyone than what we have of our own. And that is just not true. And it has never been better. Perhaps he was a victim of his own insincerity and mendacity. I accept that there is a supreme being, and I accept that that supreme being guides whom he pleases, when he pleases, and I believe that he leaves in error the same. I would like to know what you think about this topic. Press the subscribe button and leave me your comment. Like and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Discussions with Dina or Dina Discussions. I want to thank you for listening, and I will see you next time on Discussions with Dina.